Today we're going to do a little something different. It's going to be another product review today, but it's this time it's not going to be a physical product like the other ones I've reviewed in the past. This time it's a service, specifically a VPN service, and even more specifically, PureVPN. So that's what this is here. So what is a VPN, you might ask? You might have heard this before, especially recently with the whole net neutrality debacle. But anyways, that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. But a VPN basically lets you connect to someone else's network, and then through their network you access the internet, and you basically sidestep your own network. And what that means is everything that goes on is through their connection, and your own. It's literally a virtual private network. It's your own private internet connection that's separate from the normal internet connection. So why is that important, you might ask? Well, there's a lot of great things about a VPN, and for example, as you can see here on my PureVPN app here, you can optimize it for many different things, but these are some of the use cases for a VPN. You could use it for streaming, internet freedom, which I'll get into in a bit, security and privacy, file sharing, or even having your own dedicated IP. So what I personally like to use PureVPN for, and I do want to thank the folks at PureVPN for giving me a subscription to it to try out. But anyways, so for example, for streaming, let me just enable it for streaming right now. The best example I have, and this is pretty important to me, is a lot of times a lot of shows on Netflix are blocked because they're not available in the US. And I'm not just talking about foreign shows, even some US based shows. For some reason they're blocked on Netflix because of disputes with Amazon Prime and other streaming services. So they're only available in other countries despite being a US show. And one example of that is The Expanse. I don't know if anybody else here watches The Expanse. If you do, give yourself a shout out in the comments, and I'll give you a high five or something. Virtual high five. But anyways, that show is not available in the US. So if I want to watch it, then I have to make it seem like I'm in another country, not the US. So that's where a VPN comes in. So let's say I connect to a country like, I don't know, say Taiwan. I wouldn't exactly recommend Taiwan for streaming because it's on the other side of the world, literally from me, especially because I'm on the East Coast. But this is just an example. Some countries, Netflix is clever, and they managed to block some countries for VPN, but other countries like Taiwan should probably work. The more obscure countries, and once you connect to them, then you will be able to. Netflix will think, or any website, anything on the internet you connect to will think that you're actually connecting from that country, because it looks like your internet is coming from that country. Alright, so as you can see, we are now connected, and first of all, it says your real IP is now hidden. So for those of you who are concerned about your privacy online, then a VPN will hide your IP. Anyway, so as I mentioned earlier, The Expanse is not available on Netflix. Well, let's see what PureVPN has to say about that now. Alright, let's try that again. So searching for The Expanse here. Oh, there we go. And there you have it. The Expanse is now available to watch. I'm not going to watch it right now, obviously, because I would get in trouble with copyright reasons for playing the video for you guys. But you just see now I am able to watch it now, and it does indeed work. It loads up perfectly fine. So both seasons of The Expanse are available here. It's personally my favorite current sci-fi show. But if we were in the US without a VPN, then this would not work. And just to show you, I'm gonna disconnect from this. Alright, let's search for The Expanse again on Netflix and see what comes up. Alright, let's see, The Expanse. For some reason, it still comes up in my results here. Probably because the results are cached, but it won't actually show up. As you can see, I can't actually watch it, but that's probably just a little glitch with the app itself. But I definitely cannot watch The Expanse in the US on Netflix without a VPN. And the results gone. I guess it updated. But that's basically one of the really cool things about PureVPN, and really any VPN service in general. But for this particular video, I am reviewing PureVPN. So as you can see, it does work really well, and even like connecting to other countries far away, Netflix still works great. So that's a great thing to do, you know, if you want to watch shows that you normally can't watch in the US, or even if you're in another country, if you want to watch a show from the US, you know, it works vice versa. It works either way. VPN allows you to watch shows that are region restricted. And likewise, that also applies to games. There are some games, I remember Kerbal Space Program used to be region locked to certain countries, and if you wanted to download that game, you had to like change your region or even use a VPN for certain games. And I'm sure there's other games out there, not just on Xbox, but any console, that you can only get in a certain country, or it would only work in a certain country. For example, Halo Online used to only work in Russia, I think. It's now called El Dorito, and it works pretty much anywhere. But it used to only work in Russia without like any modifications. So at the time, if you wanted to play Halo Online without the whole El Dorito modifications and stuff, you would need a VPN, or you would have to live in Russia, one of those two. So before I end this, a few other things I do want to point out. I do just want to point out that you do have other options here. So you don't actually have to explicitly set PureVPN to a certain setting. It really doesn't matter. All of them work. It's just each one optimizes it for a certain a setting that you want. For example, streaming, it optimizes your speed for streaming. Internet freedom, it optimizes it for well, basically making it so that your ISPs can't track you. And this is where the whole net neutrality thing comes in. For those of you who are concerned about net neutrality, one of the things that people are concerned about is that without net neutrality, the ISPs are totally free to throttle your internet or block certain websites unless you pay more money to visit it. Or one of the concerns that ISPs would break up the internet into like cable packages. So like you'd have to pay extra money for the social media package, and then if you want to do online gaming, you have to pay for an additional package. That doesn't exist yet, at least on the US. There are other countries where they don't have net neutrality where that does exist. And if it ever happened in the US and you wanted to avoid that, then that's what internet freedom is. You would basically bypass all the blocks and like shady stuff your ISPs would do with a VPN. And then the rest is just for those of you who are really concerned about your privacy and security online, then a VPN would basically totally like hide your web traffic from anyone that might be snooping around on your network, whether it's hackers or your ISPs or anything. These are all, you know, just some of the few things you could do with a VPN service. So it's a really great service, and PureVPN specifically it works very well for this. And yeah, so if you guys ever do want to try it out, I do have a link in the description, as well as a discount that you guys can use. So do make sure to use our special code in my description. Other than that, I hope you guys did find this to be interesting. And yeah, make sure to stay tuned, and I will see you guys next time.